So, what makes me cranky about Assassin's Creed? The movie, not the video games. Well, they made a movie based on a video game series whose primary features are awesome parkour and melee combat. Then they hired a stunt team that could actually do the awesome parkour and melee combat. And then they did everything possible to stop you from being able to see the awesome parkour and melee combat. I guess that makes it one of the most accurate video game movie adaptations of all time, since it really did remind me of playing a third-person video game where I had to constantly fight to put the camera in a position to see what I wanted to see without something in the way. And it's not like what happened with Jason Bourne back this summer, where they obviously were just trying to embrace diversity by employing a cameraman who had Parkinson's. No, here the camera guy is perfectly capable of giving you steady, wide, clean shots, instead of bouncing all over the place for the whole movie. No, he only gets antsy when people actually start doing things. Then, suddenly, it's zoomed in tight, doing crazy swoops to duck behind racks of stuff or tilting up towards the sun, so half the action is obscured by a harsh yellow glare, because for some reason the sun was so much more stylized back in 1492. It's so bad, J.J. Abrams took one look at this movie and said, "Damn, man, there's way too much lens flare." Look at the footage of the actual gameplay in the background here, which was captured by my good friend Mr. Univac, since I don't actually own any of the games, by the way, so big thank you to him for that. But in any case, does everything look yellow in that? Is half the screen covered in glare from the sun? How do you make a movie that's actually harder to follow than watching someone play a video game? Having control over the camera, lighting, and editing so that you can maximize how cool everything looks and how well the story is told is the only reason you'd ever want to turn a video game into a movie in the first place. And yet they managed to make the video game actually look more coherent than the movie. I suppose the garbage direction shouldn't be a total surprise, since the guy they got to do it has almost no movies to his name, but you'd think somebody at Ubisoft might be looking over the guy's shoulder and going, our game doesn't have an amber filter on it like that, and it kind of makes all of those cool stunts you did kind of hard to see. I mean, you really did have that guy jump off a super high building like that, and now it looks like bad CG blue screen instead. Do you think we could fix that? Maybe they were just too busy trying to decide how the movie should start and then just ran out of time, because this movie has at least 3 different beginnings, each of which is for a very different kind of movie. One movie is the one that takes place back in 1492, where we watch a man join a brotherhood of assassins so he can repeat everything that the title card just told us. If you want to do that movie, you stay in the past, getting used to that character until eventually you have the big twist reveal that he's actually a man reliving his ancestor's life thanks to future tech. Probably right before the credits, since that would be a good sequel hook. The second movie is the one with the little kid who comes home to find his mom murdered by his father wearing some weird cloak, and who just tells him to run from the small army forming up outside rather than bothering to explain anything about the situation. Then you'd watch him grow up, see how that messed him up, see how it makes it easy for some creepy future corp to convince him to do this risky procedure where he relives the memories of his ancestors, and then we'd see a bit of both the past and the present sort of converge together over time. The third movie is the one where the guy goes in to be executed, but wakes up still alive under the care of the creepy future corp, which pretends like they're here to help him, but really we all know they're not. Then you get the trippy mystery, where they keep forcing him to relive the memories of his ancestors, and the big reveal is the climax of the film. Clearly, they couldn't decide which of these versions of an Assassin's Creed movie they liked better, so they just did all of them and effectively killed any chance for any of them to work. The 1492 movie never gets going because it's constantly interrupted by the future stuff that is frankly too boring to actually care about. The movie about the kid just kinda gets abandoned, and the movie about the not quite dead guy has absolutely no mystery to it since they spoiled it in the first 15 seconds by having Michael Fassbender explain the plot to everyone as part of his initiation. So what you have is a movie where all of the fun action stuff is extremely difficult to actually see, and the story is borked by being told out of order. You know what that gets you? A really boring movie that I never want to see again. And thus, I would recommend skipping this one altogether. So alas, for the string of less than stellar live-action video game movies remains unbroken. If you did see it, feel free to leave a comment below, and if you have a favorite video game movie adaptation, go ahead and drop that down there too. And if you happen to like the video and subscribe to my channel, you too can learn how to dive off the top of a cathedral and land in a haystack without killing yourself by unlocking the secret clues embedded in every review.